There are some things in life that might cost you $6, such as late fees. And then there are other things in life that may cost you a whole evening to yourself that you might have otherwise spent doing things you want to do instead of putting thoughts down onto paper. I have some I'd like to share. I shall begin. My darling internet service provider, excuse me, but I need to say something. I am not a programmed robot. However, I would be pleased to let you know more about my demographic. Age 44, gender female, marital status single, divorced to be specific. Children, one son who will turn 17 this summer. The kind of work I do often takes me away from the location of my home up to several days in a row. I am not the average Joe or Josephine who is up at 7 a.m. to go to work by 9 a.m. to be home to retrieve their mail from the box by 5 p.m. like clockwork every evening. There is also the issue that in my free time, I like to get lost and go out of town for an occasional hoot. Why, there was even a time I spent almost 2 weeks on the far side of Oregon, a spontaneous decision, not something I do every day, but I like to know that I can. It's why I choose to be single and not be married. I like to make those snap decisions, spontaneous decisions, without having to stop and consider, oh my gosh, am I going to pay for that? Have to consider somebody else's input on decisions I make. No more. Not for me. Mm-mm. Sometimes I have to arrange mail holds through USPS to assure my mail will not get stolen while I am away on a hoot or at work, an action that also involves an agreement of at least 3 working days. In other words, if I'm going to be gone just for an overnight, I can't do a mail hold for one night. They require, if I set it up online, they require me to request 3 days in a row of a mail hold. That's how it goes. And even then, when it is delivered, and I understand because we are only human, once in a while I have a neighbor as far as Bessie Street bring it to me a few days late when they can get around to it, because the post maybe has delivered it, because they delivered it to the wrong address by accident. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens, and I think at some point it happens to most everybody at some point. For personal reasons, I prefer not to pay bills by personal check or online. I prefer to, pay through money orders or pay, walk in person and pay through cash. I have found that system works better for me as an individual for reasons I am entitled to keep to myself, and as an individual, that is my individual preference. Basically, I don't keep a checkbook in the house for the same reason I don't keep a box of Twinkies in the house. It's too easy to have instant access. So, if I want a Twinkie or something decadent to indulge in, such as a slice of cake or a cookie, I have to do something first to obtain it. I just don't have it right there. So it's the same principle. It's a method that works for me. It is a method I prefer not to change, no matter how shiny is the red apple offered of convenience. And it's a decision I made years ago, and it's been ongoing. And I don't like feeling that it's a decision some other force is trying to pull out from under me, or some other force is trying to punish me because I'm not doing things online like everybody, all the other lemmings. So that's just really not my bag. I'll stop there and call this episode 1.